For the record.
My name is Andrea Martin. I live at 84 Willowbrook Road in Long Meadow.
Okay. And you are applying for the Adult Center Task Force, Select Board Task Force.
Well, first of all, I'm a senior, so that's important. And I'm also a neighbor. I live on Willowbrook Road, which is just a few blocks away from Turner Park, which I know is one of the sites that has been explored. So that matters to me. We are business owners. We've been in town for over 40 years, and I'm a property manager of a 40-unit apartment complex, so property management is what I do every day.
So if you're going to Long Meadow Days, be sure to stop by the town's booth if you have questions for town officials.
So for the public, you should have gotten the warrant in your reminder. It's also available on the website. At the very beginning of the town meeting, a motion could be made that if we have not yet finished all of the articles on the warrant by 10:30 p.m., that we adjourn until May 11th, which is Wednesday night. There's a procedure that I'd like to have for this meeting called the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a very simple procedure that allows the town meeting to vote on articles that are reoccurring on the warrant nearly every year, or those that tend not to change from year to year. They may be housekeeping, or they may have very minor policy implications for the town. And there's 9 of them. And I'm just going to read the numbers off for the listeners now. Articles 1, 2, 6, 13, 14, 17, 23, 24, and 25. So a motion to put these articles together on a consent agenda is not debatable, but when I call out the numbers, if somebody wants to say, for example, consider Article 2, the fiscal year 2016 snow and ice removal deficit, they want to talk about that or ask a question, at the time when I call out Article 2, somebody calls out hold. It's as simple as that. And we'll remove Article 2 from the consent agenda and take it up in its natural course. So it's not as if we're foreclosing people's ability to talk on these, but it does provide the town, if we understand these articles to be approvable right away, let's all vote on them once and for all in one vote.
Thank you for your time tonight. I'm Robert Lynch, and this is Grady Connor. We're partners with the CPA firm of Lynch, Malloy, and Marini, LLP. And we appreciate the opportunity to be of service to the town. As you know, this is our first year doing the audit. Just as an overview, you do have a good financial management team in place, and we're pleased to work with them. You know, our primary purpose is the independent auditor's report, which is to express an opinion on the town's financial statements. The results of the audit, where we did have an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which mean that the financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects, that the person reading the financial statements could rely on that information.
I'd like to move that we award Unibank a 6-month, $1,313,500 bond anticipation note dated May 18, 2016 at a rate of 0.70%.
No other discussion. Ready for a vote? All in favor? All opposed?
I will pass around the bond notes that must be signed very shortly. The investment report very quickly. Again, per the policy, the town had no long-term investments exceeding 5 years. The individual bank balances all were under the $5 million provision. All the ratings were green by Veribank. And we had missed out on a few times in the previous reports of all our accounts being fully insured and secured because of the buyout of Berkshire Bank by Hamden. Those banks, or those CDs that we had with Berkshire have been liquidated. The CDs became due. So we are back in the good where all our funds are fully secured and or insured.
John Dearborn, our chief of the fire department, you're coming up with an EMS rate review?
What we're required to provide for pre-hospital medical care is absolutely the best it's ever been. We bring the emergency room to your house. There's a cost to that. Personnel expenses continue to grow. Our budget, although doesn't grow as much as I'd like, does grow, so our contribution increases there also. So I looked at all those costs, and when I did start doing a 5-year and 10-year analysis on that, I found that we were not making enough revenue to sustain the service. And so we actually looked at all the rates that are provided, charged for EMS, and much to my surprise, we were very low. So rate increase by us really doesn't impact those Medicare patients. So the private insurance is what we bill. So what the rates I'm recommending tonight are a dramatic increase, but based on our capital outlays and doing projections with what our budget contributions will be over the next 5 years, if we do nothing tonight, we'll have a deficit in capital expense of $239,000 in 5 years.
I think the residents want to see an ambulance service available. They want a top-notch service. They want the top-notch people there. And right now, you're telling us we're running a fabulous ambulance service for the residents, and we're not covering our costs. In fact, we're going in the hole.
Any further discussion on the rates? All in favor? All opposed? No? Thank you, Chief. It's a hazardous mitigation plan.
To me, you know, there's a lot here. I mean, there's 104 pages. I mean, I wonder how many of us have really digested it without any aid to doing that. You know, as we know, that none of the people who actually prepared it are here.
No, it doesn't matter to me because it's
Okay.
been reviewed by FEMA and the experts and Pioneer Valley Planning Commission.
A motion to adopt the resolution, a motion to approve the resolution of adoption.
So moved.
All in favor? All opposed?
All right, so I'll move to make the number of people on the Adult Center Building Committee be 11.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Unanimous? Carried.